What's going on? Chilly day today. And I was walking over here thinking of a couple topics that are on my mind. I think today I really wanted to talk about community. Community in the sense of the people commenting on these videos. And really just like finding support from other people, I think is the bigger point here. I think in a lot of ways, I've looked at my work, like the work I do, money being made, relationships, friendships, professional relationships, mentors. I think in a certain way, I was seeing a lot of that as like something that could fix me. And it's hard to say that because, like we learn from movies and TV and books and everything that, you someone else can't fix you. You have to fix yourself. And I can believe that in theory, but in practice, I wasn't really showing it. Okay. Yeah, you meet a person that's incredible and you get along with them really well. And maybe you have shared experiences or, maybe you can empathize with what they're going through or, whatever. I think there's like genuine love being felt there in those moments, right? Like I see them and they see me and there's love there. But I think at a certain point, I think an anxiety starts to build in me that really tries to think of how they actually secretly hate me deep down and how how secretly deep down they're maybe annoyed with me or maybe my development. And they don't want to speak to me anymore or that I'm annoying. So then what ends up happening is I start looking for micro signs. I start trying to read into things. Was their text expressing disappointment? Did they actually have fun or are they just saying it? Did they want to be somewhere else but now they're stuck here with me? Or I start to kind of like beat myself up around them and then they're giving me compliments and I'm like, well, they're only giving me compliments because they feel bad for me. For so long, I would say that I didn't know how to take compliments because I didn't believe them, truly. I thought what they were saying was made up or to make me feel better or they pitied me. But for somebody to say something nice about you, they don't have to. They're choosing to. And they can care a lot. And maybe they are putting up with it. I don't know. Like when so much of your self-worth is derived from external supports, you start to grow attachment so quickly because because there's no inner machine that's producing self-worth, you start to grow an attachment, right? Or reliance is maybe a better word. Um, but it's this unquenchable thirst because you can't get in their brain and know with 100% certainty that they believe in you, right? You have to have a certain level of trust, and you have to have a certain level of trust in yourself to say, hey, if they're lying to me, that's okay, because I know my worth and I can appreciate the positives and maybe discard the negatives is maybe the right way to put it. Like, I'm thinking I'm gonna go further back because I think they're a little easier to percolate on right now. Um, when I was first getting started with freelancing, I would reach out to people that were a little bit older and try to get some advice from them. And advice turned into business opportunities. They wanted to pull me in on projects. I was doing marketing at the time, so they were saying, you should do marketing for this project. And the whole time I'm thinking, they have pity on me. They think I'm pathetic. They're doing this as a joke. They find me annoying. The work's bad. They can tell the work's bad. I haven't responded long enough. I'm doing a bad thing. Loop, 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 loop. I would thank them. I'd buy them drinks. I'd be like, thank you guys. It's such an incredible opportunity. And they'd say you're doing amazing work or whatever. Or sometimes they would express disappointment, whatever. Like it didn't really matter. It was like the long-term fear of abandonment, I think. It was the implication of abandonment that I think really like heightens my senses. It's like a long-term disappointment. I think I talked about this yesterday, but whatever. Um, Picking up these small signals of like a friend's parents are annoyed with me. That means they're going to tell my parents that they're annoyed with me, or that I'm being a bad person, or they're going to tell me in 10 years that they've secretly da 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 da. I became so attached to like secrets or cheating. Cheating became this really triggering thing for me. Not in the sense that I had experienced it, but it was like you'd see subplots in it of sorry, drop my lighter. You'd see subplots in TV shows, right? Of like a person cheating on somebody else or catching somebody cheating. And the part that really fucked me up the most about it was that the other person might not find out. That something might be kept from them and they'll continue living on their life and secretly there's a thing going on in the background. So I'm making an effort to not making an effort. I'm pretty intentionally trying to engage with fiction again. I think I had a hard time engaging with fiction, a lot of emotional dysregulation, I think. But in re-engaging with it, I'll notice tropes that I used to be so annoyed by, and love triangles or cheating subplots, miscommunications like that were so devastating for me. Or I was just like, this is so ham-fisted to get a reaction, whatever, but it's because it would get a huge reaction out of me because I found those plots so emotionally devastating that the person might not find out a secret is being kept from them for an extremely long period of time. And in particular, a secret that they hate the other person or they don't want to be around another person, but they're not telling them. It wasn't that they were taking advantage. It wasn't that they were secretly cheating, stealing, like whatever. It was that the person had been discarded, but they weren't telling them. It was like pseudo discardment, I guess. I don't know. It's like when someone who gets the sense at work that they're going to be fired soon and they're kind of like looking for the signs. You know what I mean? if I have in my head that I don't have a lot of worth, or that I'm something that should be discarded, then I'm just looking for the signs that are telling me it's about to happen. It makes existence feel like a scam. It feels like I got a ticket to a thing that I shouldn't be at. And that's really the reason this has popped up is yesterday I was percolating on fear, right? And that I'm afraid to look at my email, that I'm afraid to look at this, that I'm afraid to look at that. And I'm able to soothe myself to say, hey, nothing in my email's that serious. I don't need to be so afraid. I haven't done anything that is like, I'm not waiting for authorities to show up for something. I'm just living my life. And I could understand all of that, but then today I was still terrified. I was still petrified to check my email. And that's okay. It takes time. But I approached it with curiosity again, and I noticed something even deeper, that even that messaging I didn't fully believe. And then I sat there and I thought, what part of it do I not believe? Do I think something's secretly coming in the mail that I'm going to get in trouble for? No. Like, not even that I'm like being like in my most like out there panic. Like, I'm not like being framed for something. I'm whatever. Because maybe then I could speak to a lawyer or, take some steps there. But I was like, no, that's not what it is. And it's that on a more like human purpose level thing, on a more like human aspect, I felt like I don't belong here, and that I'm waiting for someone to find out that I don't belong here, and they've caught on. It's like I'm like an alien that is not supposed to be in this environment and is waiting for someone to catch on to that, Okay, so that's a tough thing to hit your chest with. That you're like, you feel like an alien species to other people. But in recognizing that and saying it out loud, it's saying one of those terrible things out loud and realizing that you do believe it. It's not saying those terrible things and being like, no, I don't believe that in myself. It's that I do feel like an alien right now. I feel very alien to other people. I feel like I am, like someone's going to realize that I'm not operating normally. Now, I wouldn't, like how saying that out loud and writing it down really helps for me, because then I start to kind of treat it like it'd be something I'd say to a friend. Or like a friend says it to me, what would I respond with? And it's like, well, every single person is unique. Every single person has their own baggage and issues, and maybe this is a situation where it's not looking at you as the odd one out, and maybe it's a situation to look at it like I'm applying a broad, sweeping, normalized paintbrush to everyone else, and then comparing myself to this idealized state of every single person. What's funny about that is it totally disregards their own journeys, experiences, traumas, baggage, the places they're at in life. Yeah, when you're in such a masking and a survival mode socially, I think you actually do dehumanize everybody, including yourself. You start to reduce it into patterns or systems or methods, or it's not human to human contact. It's like algorithms or decision matrices, I guess. Matrices, whatever, matrices. I think there's a school field trip coming by right now. I feel like I always get the most interesting things walking by me. I swear I'm coming to the same spot each day. It's just different times. I do really want to come back to that topic, but I don't think I can be there right now with so much going on behind me. So but I still want to talk. It's really cold where we are. Every picnic bench has been covered in snow, but not just that, it's also been like iced over. So it's really hard to get rid of it. So like I like to come out here and sit on picnic benches when I'm doing these, but it becomes really hard to when sorry, there's an entire fucking school walking by right now. That's okay. It happens. I do want to keep talking. I was thinking of pausing, but I think I kind of want to keep it rolling to watch myself afterwards. Okay. Trying to remember where I was in the conversation. It was the fear topic, and then the layer deeper where it was like it wasn't a fear of some sort of punishment from the email. It was more a general anxiety that I'm doing something wrong or that I'm gonna get caught out for something. And then in saying that out loud, realizing that I wouldn't say that to anybody else, and that it applies this almost like legal lens to the world, where it's like there's social legality, and if I break the social legal rules, they're going to like cast me out, which isn't true. Socialization has room for errors. That's kind of where improv comes from, is like pivoting on the fly. And I think that's something that I became really good at, was kind of this like dance of presenting myself in a certain way to make myself maybe palatable. I don't know. It's acting in a certain way. It's like once I started to feel the vibe of the function, I would know that maybe certain jokes wouldn't fly the same way that they would in another environment, or someone might be mean to me if I bring up a certain political topic, even if I'm thinking about it. And that makes it really good for navigating family or, challenging friendships or difficult situations you're in. But it becomes difficult when you want to just be yourself, because you don't want to be difficult. Or at least that's what my brain was going. Is like if you're difficult, then they're not going to want to hang out with you. So why would you ever want to like enforce a certain like point of view, or like strongly stand by a belief or express it to someone? But it's like the reason you do that is because you want this other person to see the real you, I guess. And the real you is one that is maybe not kind all the time. Maybe. Like I'm not implying a base level of like basic human decency is obviously to be expected, but it's like I think I was putting pressure on myself to socially be on my best behavior, and that they'll have caught me in a situation where I'm not on my best behavior. I think it's also made me really lean into like jester archetypes of being such like a silly, off the wall person. Is like, by knowing what the right things to say are, it makes saying the wrong things really funny, I guess. Because it's like, how can I be a people pleaser in that way and also be funny? Because I feel like a lot of being funny is kind of catching people off guard, or like, they've got an expectation of what you're going to say and then you say something else. That's like, in knowing the right things to say, you also know the wrong things to say. And to even have that level of like, I guess social intelligence, maybe, it requires you to be able to empathize with someone else. And like, it would be sociopathic, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to use big words like that. It would be very harsh if it was like a cold and calculating way. But it's actually that it's such a self-preservation thing that I didn't even realize I was doing it. Yeah. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to feel the vibe out of a situation, but not let that dictate my personality. I still want to do the things I want to do. If I don't enjoy the company of someone, I want to be able to kind of like move away from it. It's like, in having boundaries, I think is probably the overarching phrase I'm thinking of. If having boundaries on my time, my value, like a value on your self-worth is like if somebody is doing something that reaffirms a low self-worth in you, not standing by it. Like that is having a standard, being like, okay, well, like this is not gonna fly. Like this is not okay, and I need to change the situation, and I need to express it. I've never had that situation. I've let people make fun of me. I've let people walk all over me, and whatever it is, because I wouldn't take it that serious. I'd be like, whatever, it's not that big a deal. But it's like, it's not that big a deal because I feel small. I feel reduced. I feel minimized. So someone making fun of me or not paying me for work I did, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Let's let it be just water under the bridge, because it's reaffirming a thing I already believe in myself, that I probably shouldn't have gotten paid for that project to begin with, that I'm full of shit, that I was just lucky to get it. Kind of riling myself up here. I'm going to sit for a second. I think I often looked at self-worth as an additive thing, a thing that I like plug on top of my brain. But what I've actually noticed in this is that it's actually a lot of acts of reduction, at least so far. It's been not talking down on myself. I think I missed a couple in this one earlier where I said I'm something, but I could feel it. I could feel it in my brain that I'm like, oh, I don't like saying that. I don't like saying I'm someone who tends to forget people's names. I want to say I have been someone that forgets people's names in the past, because it creates the option now to be like, I'm someone who really wants to remember people's names. I really want to. I sometimes feel like I need to, because it's like, to empathize with another person, to be able to look them in the eyes and hear them pour their soul out, and to not remember their name or to not remember basic information about them, is to deny their humanity. I'm jumping right by it and going to these deep things. And that isn't to say what I was doing was bad. I was so overloaded with information. I can be kind to myself of that. That it's like that I see as positive. Is like that identity isn't serving me, and I don't want it. Obviously, there's a level of realism to it. I'm not even gonna go down that path. You guys get it. You guys get it. And in these moments, these types of topics, being afraid to check my email, social anxiety, fear of being perceived, these different challenges. A lot of the time I would just kind of go in a circle, or I'd avoid them. But it's like when you go in enough circles, you kind of like go down to the next level, you go down to the next level. It's like being afraid to check my email became uncomfortable sitting with fear, became the fear is coming from a place of lack of self-worth, becomes behaviors change via reduction of negative in those situations, like the course correcting each time that happens, being like nope, and in catching that you're embodying the version you want to be. When I make a now statement, when I make a statement that's like I do this thing, and I catch myself doing it and be like, oh no, like I was someone that did that, or I don't know how I feel about that, so like, I'm not going to make a sweeping, broad, generalized statement about myself. That's me being the thing right now. Even if I don't have the outcome in its explicit form, I'm someone who like believes they should, I guess, and they're taking the steps to like go towards that outcome or solution. Yeah. And that's what's really hard to explain to people is it's like these brain blasts are happening day over day over day over day over day. But it's not like I'm reaching some enlightened level state. It's like I'm downloading my my firmware or something. I'm like getting up to speed, and it's so all encompassing and so intense and so emotional and so heavy that it's like, yeah, it is tough to do things right now because I'm downloading so much. I'm reading Wikipedia articles and being like, what, like, I don't think I understood what I liked about fiction is a great one. I really like getting immersed in settings. I love Tolkien. I love the Warcraft universe. I love these different immersive universes that have history and setting beyond the book or the movie or the video game or whatever. What does that look like? Why do they do that? Why do these people create the things they create? I want to read the essay Tolkien wrote about like writing fairy stories and stuff, or like trying to read some more modern authors in this space and get a sense, because it's like I want to interrogate. No, that's a good one. I want to be curious about what I'd like and dislike about fiction. Stories. I love telling stories. I love telling stories. But you eventually run out of stories in the present. So what you end up doing is like doing interesting things to have stories to tell about, or you tell other people's stories, right? You like recap the history of a music genre or something like that, right? But like, I can also tell fictional stories. I can be excited about a development in a fictional universe. Because those things help you learn and adapt and reflect on things. I have like versions of myself that I want to put in as characters going on their own journeys. I want to be able to embed messages of hope and self-worth in the face of immense challenge, right? Not saying that like everything works out in the end in the fiction book, but like more that everything works out for the person's journey. And everyone, there's a collective journey that everybody's going on, but then everyone's going on their own like twisting and turning paths that have highs and lows, and the lows could last years and years and years, and people can stick with decisions or make choices, and then you can play out hypothetical scenarios of what happens to them. And I love the idea of framing it through a fantasy lens, a high fantasy lens, because it requires you to like not just retell your own experience. You have to like fictionalize it, and you have to embed it in a fantasy universe and say a person who was where I was at a certain time and made a certain decision and maybe stuck with it. What does that mean? If the Evan that that felt a sense of familial justice or honor, you know? Like, what if that 17-year-old signed up to go to the guard duty at the wall in the north or whatever? I'm just going to take Game of Thrones, which I haven't even seen or watched or read, but I know the Night Watch, you know? What if I make 17-year-old Evan go there and start to have doubts and start to continue to grow there, but now he's signed his life away there? What does that mean? Well, do you try to make purpose within the setting? Do you try to inspire the other people there that you all signed your lives away, but and now you have doubts, but it's like you can create purpose through this, or you can connect with the people there, I don't know. Or do you try to break out and get away from it, and then you feel guilt over that because you can't commit to anything? Like, the stories fucking write themselves, right? But what I've always liked is the setting, the intrigue, the land mass, how it evolved, what were the wars, what were the key moments, what were the factions, what do they feel about things? That it's almost this like living, breathing universe beyond the fiction story that's being told. It's like this little biome that just functions and exists and evolves and changes over time, and you know, like something like something like what I liked about World of Warcraft initially was that it was this evolving thing, that it was this thing that a couple of years pass and then you get to find out more. I love that shit. I love when it's not it's like there's stories being told, but then the world's also progressing, if that makes sense. I think you can also take that too far and go to a point of like turning it into a product that's on a fucking treadmill and that people constantly need updates for, and what's the next thing, and what's the next thing, and what's the next thing, and what's the next thing. You can let those worlds go quiet, and maybe that's what fan fiction's for. Anyway, point I'm trying to get at is, yeah, like, I try to read a book, and then that's the fucking route I go down. Or I try to go to the park, and then I'm renegotiating my relationship with movement. Not even exercise, but like movement. Like, how do I move? And like, how do my legs work? It's like, I'm going on a walk and thinking, how do my legs work? It creates this absurd thing where you are learning very, not simple, but like concepts that feel basic, you're like getting a new appreciation for. It feels like I'm coming back to the same topic and learning so much more from it. So there's a lot of optimism there. And these last couple of weeks of healing, I really do believe in myself and have self-worth. I feel it growing. I feel it evolving, and in these moments of doubt, I'm having faith in myself. I'm turning to myself for support, and I am rising to the fucking challenge. Like, yes, I'm going to talk to other people. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm going through a lot to other people and see if they can maybe like give me a hand or yada yada, whatever. But like, I am self-soothing, and that is so meaningful because it's like it lets me be this organism that has a positive feedback loop in myself, but also a positive feedback loop for other people, and being there for other people and showing up meaningfully. So it's like a self-love and also a love for like everything else. Because I have both. I think I really do love myself, and I think I really do love everything beyond myself. There is so much beauty in literally everything, from a tree to a car to whatever else. Like the branches on the tree above me form into such an incredible like branching path that like humans have turned into like tree charts, and like it's the way we like organize files, and like I don't know, maybe these are just now I'm getting into high thought territory. I think the gigantic field trip walking by me did throw me for a spin. But I really do feel a sense of growing inner faith, inner self-worth, inner love. And it grows day by day, and it grows in these small adjustments, and everything feels like it's on the fucking right track. I can be literally sitting on the floor in the bathroom earlier today and being like, I feel like I'm fucking lost. And then I can be sitting out here and being like, I'm in the fucking money. I'm doing good. But it's like, that's literally what it feels like. It's these like highs and lows. And by fully feeling everything, I feel like there's so much self-learning that's happening. So, love all you guys, rooting for you. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you later.